Hey everybody, Dan here with Pain For You. Today's topic is this. Are you ready to let go of your story? So I'll get to that in a minute. Take a nice couple of deep breaths. Breathe in the peace. Exhale the noise. One more. Something positive. Exhale something negative. So, are you ready to let go of your story? So what story am I talking about? It's the story that you tell most often. Because honestly, the brain believes the story we tell ourselves most often. The brain believes the things we think and say most often. What story are you telling yourself about TMS, about your symptoms, about your pains? Are you telling yourself a story that says, I understand TMS, but I'm different. This doesn't apply to me because I've got X, Y, and Z going on. So this is not going to work. Are you telling yourself a story that says, holy crap, I'm on the right path finally, and I see a way out? Which story are you telling yourself? And obviously, if you see the way out and believe that you can get well, stick with that story. But if you're still holding on to and telling yourself and even others that you're not going to get well, that this can't work for you, even if you believe the cause of your symptoms and pain is TMS, if your story is that, but I'm not strong enough, I'm not capable of eliminating this, I'm too anxious, I'm too fearful, I'm too weak, I'm too X, Y, and Z to get better, your brain's going to believe that. So, first off, ask yourself what story you are telling yourself most often. And if it is one that is limiting you and holding you down, then I'm going to encourage you to ask yourself, how much longer do you want to keep on telling yourself this story that just says, I'm not good enough, or something is really wrong with me, right? My core fundamental here is that you're not broken. You're not broken physically, mentally, or emotionally. So if your story is, I believe TMS, but I have the inability due to a mental or emotional challenge, you're holding yourself down. You're holding yourself back. You're trying to run a marathon with a 50-pound weight tied to your ankles. So, the story matters. I'm going to encourage a story of hope, optimism, accurate information, not false hope, but accurate information, soothing, calming, reassuring. The story that says, this is not anything that needs to heal. The story that says, I am not broken. I just need to teach my brain that that's actually true. That's the story I will encourage you to adopt and begin telling yourself more often than not, and start to drop the story that says, I can't do this, or I'm broken, or I've got something quote unquote real, so this can't work for me. Let me just qualify this. Somebody was asking about osteoarthritis and saying, I have a real structural problem. It's called osteoarthritis. So this pain is never going to go away. So I will tell you, osteoarthritis is one of those things that Sarno even spoke about early on. That said, it's a normal sign of aging. It doesn't have to hurt. I believe that with all my heart. Why? Because I've seen people 70, 80 years old get better. You can too. So, a TMS approach will not fix your arthritis, but it will teach your brain that the arthritis is not dangerous and thereby doesn't need to hurt you all the time. Remember, the pain is here to protect us from something the brain perceives as dangerous. If you think your body is racked full of osteoarthritis and therefore is always going to hurt, and your joints are this, your joints are that, what do you think is going to happen? Every time you move, your brain's going to go, stop it. So, please think about your story and comment below if you're willing to share it. What story are you telling yourself more often than not? I'm encouraging you to tell yourself a story where you are actually the hero of that story, where you finally say, I've had enough. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm not going to judge myself, criticize myself, hold myself back with a story that says this doesn't apply to me and I'm not good enough to do it, even if it did apply to me. Those things are not helpful. And I know this sounds a little bit like, if you build it, they will come, right? Field of Dreams. If you believe it, it will happen. But again, this is not about false hope or believing some mystical, rainbows and unicorns fairy with pixie dust. This is accurate information that if your brain can be taught to keep the pain or symptoms going through fear and attention, let's dial down the fear. Let's pull the attention away, change the script, change the story. Let's rewrite a new story with a happy ending for you, because I see it over and over and over again. People getting better all the time. Just follow the comments in my posts on YouTube and Facebook. I'm always seeing people saying, I'm doing so much better, I'm getting better, I'm getting better, I'm getting better. You can too. It's not just for other people, it's for you too. So, are you ready to let go of your story? The story that's holding you back from your new life without chronic pain. It's available to you. You just have to see it to believe it. And if you can't believe it for yourself, look at the other people. Look at me, 13 years of pain. There's plenty of times when I felt like quitting, but and even probably kind of said, whatever, I'm going to just deal with it. Not necessarily quitting, but really putting this on the back burner. But I kept coming back to it. And, thank goodness I did, because it eventually was able to be productive for me and give me a different result. But I had to change my story. I had to get out of the story that said, wow, I've been dealing with this for over a decade and I'm still not better. The story was, what makes me think I'm going to get better if it hasn't worked yet? Anybody else here in that place? Well, I'm here to tell you, you can get better. It doesn't matter how long you've been dealing with TMS. When the brain gets a message, the nervous system and the brain can settle down and turn off the pain. It happens all the time. So really ask yourself, what story are you telling yourself most often? Then ask yourself, is that story helping me and supporting me? Or is it holding me down and scaring the crap out of me? And to put it in a different way, would you tell that same story to a little kid who is dealing with pain or other symptoms? Would you tell them that there's no hope? That they're not good enough, that they've got emotional issues or mental challenges, or they're just not strong enough, that they're too anxious, or that there's something really broken with them? Would you share that information with a little kid? Why are you telling it to yourself? Because inside of us, we all got this scared little kid, and it's just dying to be comforted and reassured that everything's going to be okay. Tell yourself that story. Rewrite it. Commit to it. That's the way out. Yes, it's not just, coming up with a story. There are consistent messages of safety. You have to clarify exactly, what's going on with you. But I do believe that any pain that's been around a long time, regardless of the medical imaging studies, whether you got osteoarthritis, bulging, herniated discs, bone on bone, you name it, an old break in a joint that healed a little bit funky. Still means that your brain has learned through the belief that your body is the problem, that the body is a problem, and therefore it's keeping the symptoms going. If we teach the brain that, yeah, I got some minor things, or even significant things that are normal abnormalities, and a lot of people have them, teach the brain that I don't have to hurt. I'm not going to do anything nuts. I'm not going to go crazy. So you can turn off the pain. I don't need the pain. Thank you for protecting me, brain, but you're overprotective. There's no reason I need this significant level of pain in order to keep me safe from doing anything stupid, because we're not stupid. We're cautious. We're careful. We're smart. You can get better. This is the way. And so, how much longer do you want to hold on to your story? Or do you want to try to rewrite it? And literally, sit down and write a script of your new story. You're the hero of the story. What would you tell that scared little kid inside of you to encourage them that this is possible and that they can do it and that they're capable of doing it? Write that story. Tell yourself that story so much that your brain starts to believe that. And that's how you're going to get out. So, love you guys and gals. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care.